Gareth, is it about time some of the Liverpool squad were on raw milk?
It's worth a try, isn't it? Try anything at this stage. I just think, you know, right now, especially away from home, we look so fragile, both in terms of teams being able to score against us, but also mentally. I keep seeing things where I think it looks like they feel sorry for themselves a little bit. And, you know, yesterday I felt like City targeted Konate with and without the ball, let Konate have the ball in terms of build-up, targeted them when they had the ball. And he's a prime example of it. I think if he makes a mistake in a game, that's it then. He's going to make more. And that's a sort of example of what I mean about this sort of mental fortitude that's sort of lacking at the moment. I think we've still obviously got a good squad. We've obviously got good players. I think we can go on a better run than we've been on. But to do a run of, you know, 4 consecutive away defeats is really worrying. And I don't know I don't know what the quick fix is, and I don't know whether the manager knows what the quick fix is.
Sorry, Gareth, are you looking more there at the manager or the playing staff?
A bit of both, really. Because if you think about the Real Madrid performance, which I thought was excellent, I thought you really saw sort of fight from the players, aggression from the players.
But they're at home. They got 60,000 calling them on.
But it just wasn't there at City. You know, City were doing that to us. You know, you look at Vert, any time he got the ball, no matter where he was on the pitch, their players were flying into him. I think a couple of the bookings they picked up were challenges on.
Bernardo just chopped him.
Yeah, challenges on him, and that was like, we're not letting you do anything. And that's what we were doing to Real Madrid the other day. So what happens away from? And I know it's a huge thing, home advantage, obviously. But what happens to them mentally away from home right now? Because it's not right. And if it's not right, we'll make us hard to beat them. Do you know what I mean? And go from that basis. And we just feel too open. Teams are picking us off. I think it's 17 goals conceded now in 11 games. That's not close to something that's going to get you the title. What have Arsenal conceded? 5 or something?
Yeah, about that.
To be hard to beat, though, you need every player to work.
Yeah.
And I just think this season teams have targeted down the right. Salah doesn't run back as much as... I know he hasn't always done it, but I think there's obvious concern for Liverpool down there because he's not getting back and not having the consistency of a right-back playing every game. Is it three right-backs?
Yeah.
He's played the season. Thomas Sligo there to fill in as well. I think teams are targeting... Well, Carragher come out after the Chelsea game and said they targeted down our side. Yeah. And I think City done it yesterday, and I felt sorry for Bradley yesterday. He needed help, and Gravenberg's doing as much as he can to get across and help him, but then there's spaces in the middle.
Then he's dragged out, yeah.
So I just think and Salah actually last season in City was probably the hardest I've ever seen him work. He got back and he did defend. But this season, yesterday he didn't. And then there's big gaps and there's holes, and that's where you look open. Konate then has to go out as well. I think he has been poor, Konate, but he's out and Gravenberg's dropping in. And that's where we've seen the second goal yesterday come from. So
no, you're right, Wayne.
The manager has to show authority on that.
Well, I think...
Salah has to be responsible and say, listen... And this part where I was saying with Van Dijk as captain as well, he should be telling Salah, you can get him back in. Yeah.
Well, I'm not saying to be fair, Sab, but I think it is a tactical thing in that it worked last season. But as you said there, if you're not scoring the goals at one end and you're leaving your team exposed at the other, you're not basically getting nothing from this tactical ploy of allowing Mo Salah just to stay up top. So he's either got to come back or you've got to play somewhere else. And that's why I said a few weeks ago, the days of Mo Salah starting every week, especially away from home, have to stop. Yeah. But it probably would have been a very brave man not to play him at Manchester City yesterday on the back of what happened midweek. But I think when I always look more at the players, me, than a manager. But I do think Liverpool's sort of, the people behind the players and the manager, they've tried to take a team of last season that won the league, but in Slot's eyes, he wanted it to be more sexy, more goals, more entertaining. Yeah. He's always speaking about Paris Saint-Germain. He loves Pep. You heard him speak about Pep before the game. He's just his heroes, Pep. So he's trying to move that team here to more football and more goals, and the league's moved that way. Yeah. So the league's gone powerful, set pieces, long throws, almost like a throwback to the 2000s or dealing. And Liverpool have been left behind, and they've almost just got it wrong in terms of where the game's going. And I think that's been a big problem for them. But Gareth, I wanted to ask you about Wirtz. Now, I was worried about Wirtz early on. Not because he wasn't amazing, but I also think when you pay that much money for someone, I just want to see a few glimpses of something that I think, oh, okay, I know he's not the Bayer Leverkusen version yet. That'll come in a few months when he gets up to speed, but I can see little things. That was early on. I've seen a few little things, the back heel at Chelsea. Yep. He played well against Real Madrid. But my worry about Wirtz is that when people are saying, oh, he's got to get used to his teammates and stuff like that, he's actually played well in Europe. But it's a different game to the Premier League. So he's played really well, I think away from home. Was it Frankfurt? Played really well against Real Madrid at home. But he's found it really tough in the Premier League. And I worry about him sort of going forward. I get it's early days, but I need to see something to keep me going that this,
will work. Varane for us. When we bought Sebastian Varane, who's I think twice the player Wirtz is really, he was great in Europe but couldn't deal with the physicality.
Was he twice the player Wirtz was?
Seba Varane. He's a much better player than.
Why?
Is that not obvious?
Why?
Juan Sebastian Varane. He's not better than Wirtz.
Man United do not.
No, but I mean, in terms of his talent and his ability, he's twice the player Florian Wirtz is. And he struggled in the Premier League because of the physicality and stuff. And I think that's what he's dealing with. That's why he's good in Europe, because there's a bit more space and everything. But
I like Wirtz coming off the left, what he's done in the last couple of... I know he hasn't scored, but he's created a good number of chances, and which his teammates haven't taken, and good chances as well. So I think he'll be all right. I do. And players just take time to settle in. To go from Leverkusen to Liverpool, it's a big jump.
Oh no,
Liverpool's a massive club, and I just think it's not going well for the whole group at Liverpool at the minute. And when that happens, and you're a new player, and the money they've spent, Isak very similar as well. And there's going to be questions, but I think he'll be all right.
I agree with the thing on the left, because I've been thinking about how he can get in the team. He has to try and make it work. It's not like he doesn't play. But when you think of the Premier League, there's always at least 6 players in the middle of the pitch, sometimes 8, with full-backs coming in, and it's fast, and it's quick, and it's powerful. And I actually think just being on the left, there's a little bit more space, a little pocket. I think of the Man City players of like David Silva, Bernardo Silva, those type of players, even though they're really creative, they didn't play in the number 10 position so much. It's more a little bit wide where the space is. But I agree with you on that. The thing about the chances, I keep seeing he's top of the chances. So I asked someone at Sky, because I'm thinking when I'm watching the game, I'm not actually seeing those chances. A chance is when you pass the ball to someone and you have a shot. So that shot can be from outside the box. That shot can be from like, do you know what I mean? What I'm saying, I get the Salah one at Chelsea.
Galatasaray away, Paul. I think it was Ekitike clean through 1v1.
Yeah.
He gives Szoboszlai
was another European game.
He gives Szoboszlai a chance against Real Madrid. And I know you're saying it's European games, but still, he just needs a goal. He needs a goal and assist and to get confidence. And as a forward, when your confidence is low, it's not a good place to be.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on sort of Liverpool going forward?
You just got to dig in, haven't they? I mean, with Wirtz, I found it incredibly frustrating seeing him in that sort of like false 9 position later on in the game when we're trying to chase it. It just didn't work for me. We had no threat. And, there were a couple of balls flashed across the face and there's no one there. I mean, what I look at as a sort of little bit of a way back is 3 of the next 4 are at home. So that's good. Alisson's in goal or supposed to be for the next game at home against Nottingham Forest. I think that'll make a big difference. Mamardashvili's done all right, saves a pen yesterday, but you notice the difference. The distribution, just the presence of Alisson. I think that will help. And I think it'll help, hopefully, fingers crossed, that we start to eventually see the best of Isak as well. He was obviously on the bench yesterday, not deemed fit enough to come on. Hopefully by Forest and by that run of games I'm talking about, we start to get something out of him as well. So that's what I'm hopeful of. But you still got I think we still got to see something from them away from home. The next away, I think, is West Ham. You should be doing something there.
Is Liverpool's biggest problem that failure to integrate the new players?
Well, it's one of their problems. They've got a few problems at the moment, obviously. Integration of new players always a problem in the Premier League because it is the toughest league in the world. It's a culture shock for any player to come into that environment. It's not only the change of countries where you come into your workplace, which is the most competitive league in the world, and it is a shock. It is easier when you're coming to the champions, where it should be. because the integration should be a little bit easier. But they're missing Diaz. He's flying. You've seen it. And obviously the tragedy, what happened with Jota, we can't underestimate how that has had an impact on the squad as well. The new players, especially Wirtz, what Gary's talking about there, he's really struggling. He really is struggling. At the pace of the game, to find a position, trying to want to play him in the 10, which is preferred position, and then sticking him out on the left-hand side. Ekitike's done well. I think we can't argue with the impact he's had. Isak's obviously had the injury problems. He will come good because we know he can play in the Premier League. The same with Carragher. Frimpong's been a real problem. We're not sure what he is. Is he a wide player? Is he actual fullback? I think he wants to play in forward areas. They're missing the players they've lost. Trent Alexander-Arnold as well. It's having a massive impact on them. You'd have to say we're just looking for excuses because there's something not correct at the moment. And they need to address it very, very soon. Otherwise, it's going to be too late. You can't win the league in November, but you can certainly be out of it by November if you keep dropping points. And if they look, I think they're still in it because they're capable, but they're only capable, not capable on the performance we saw yesterday, Tom. Certainly not. But they're capable on memory and the history of what this group have done last season. But like you say, integration of new players, unless they get it right very, very soon, there's no title for them this year.
Well, yeah, you say it's not over just yet. It is the subject of one of our polls this morning. Is it game over for Liverpool in the title race? And 77% are saying that yes, it is. And here's another one for you, Tim. They've lost 5 Premier League games so far. I know it's only November, but no Premier League winner has ever lost more than 6 games in a 38-game season. Now, they've had no draws, OK, so that helps. Yeah. The rest have all been wins. Yeah. But when you say it's not over yet, it could be quite soon.
Absolutely, very soon, very soon. I mean, you do. First and foremost, do we think Arsenal can? What are we talking about? 8 points now. Can Arsenal lose 3 games between now and the end of the season? Of course they can. Of course they can. Can Liverpool go unbeaten between now and the end of the season? No. So they're going to have to lose more games. Arsenal. I don't see them doing that. I don't see Arsenal losing 5 or 6 games between now and the end of the season. I really don't in the Premier League. So it's very close, if not impossible for them now.
And especially when you've got, in between that, you've got Manchester City and Chelsea as well, who are now up to 3rd. Liverpool's, you said that integrating the new players was one of their problems. At the start of the season, we talked about they might lack a bit of depth in defence.
Yeah.
Is defence their biggest problem, or is attack just as much of a problem?
Well, a bit of both, really. I don't think Van Dijk, for me, is a top draw player, leader of the club. He hasn't been great this season. He really hasn't. And Konate's even worse. He's been very poor. Fullbacks they've missed. They've got new fullbacks. They haven't settled either. Gravenberch has been missing in the 6th position. He's back now. We thought he was back. We thought they were back to not their best, but it was certainly an improvement. We played against Aston Villa and they beat Real Madrid. Gives anyone a lift, to be able to do that. But they got put to the sword yesterday. That was a statement win from Man City to say, just a reminder, guys, we are still here, and they look very, very good, and they're doing it without Rodri. It's incredible the performance what they had. Some individual performances which I know we're going to get onto later on in the show, but for Liverpool, it's not right at the moment, and no one can really, even including Arne Slot, can put their finger on just one thing. It's an accumulation of things, unfortunately, for them, and it's probably going to be a bridge too far for them to win the Premier League this season. But not impossible. I will never say impossible for a team who won it with a month to spare last year.
Well, Sky Sports have partnered with Finalysis, an app where passionate fans share their opinions on their club. If you want to represent your club, scan that QR code or visit the Sky Sports app for more details. We're joined by Liverpool fan Lewis Anderson now. Lewis, what was your reaction to that defeat and how deflated are you this morning?
I'm deflated like a flat balloon. I thought we'd just come back into it. We just got 2 wins. Real Madrid. We're thinking, all right, we've gone through our bad patch. We're going to do something now. Listen, you can lose away at Man City. Some of the best Liverpool teams have lost away at Man City. Klopp's team that got 98 points, whatever. It can happen, but to lose like that, we were so toothless. Yeah. it's like we forgot to put in our dentures. We couldn't do anything. We tried to be defensive in the first half. So if you're going to be defensive, either be a low block or press high. We kind of didn't do either one of those things, and we were just kind of passive.
Yeah.
And also another thing what I'll say is, last season Slot got a lot of credit for coming up, changing things for the second half and doing really well in the second half, yeah? Which is cool, but why do we keep playing so bad in the first half?
How much
I
is
don't
this?
understand.
You said you were toothless there. How much does that surprise you? Because when you looked at your squad at the start of the season, that was certainly not an area you were expecting to be a problem.
No, you know what? At the start of the season, obviously, we don't really usually spend money like that. So I was happy, like, okay, we're showing a bit of intent. But when we missed out on that Guehi deal, we spent so much money in other positions, but centre-back was a big hole for us. A big, big hole. So I know Guehi had a season left and they wanted to save a bit of money. But if you're spending 120 mil on Isaac, 150 mil on Wirtz, and then you're trying to save 4 mil on Guehi, it's like, we needed the strikers, but we definitely needed a centre-back. And even, sorry to say one more thing. So remember, a couple of seasons ago, we tried to sign Saicedo, defensive mid, yeah? Because we had Fabinho, his legs fell off. We didn't have a defensive mid, so we signed Endo as a stopgap. But we still haven't replaced Fabinho till now. So, like, it's just, yes, we spent a lot of money, but we didn't cover all the bases that needed covering.
I don't think we ever expected Konate to be as bad as he's actually been. Even yesterday, Pep's thought about this and he's thinking, you know what, don't let Virgil come out with the ball. Our pressing victim has to be Konate. They were letting him have the ball, and as soon as he had the ball, they just smelt blood and they went and got it. And you couldn't get out. You know, you talk about, you know, toothless going forward. You couldn't get a ball through the lines to get forward because they were starting with that man. Give him the ball and they just preyed on him. And unfortunately, he couldn't stand up.
He couldn't, and it's sad. I don't understand how you could spend all your life training and playing football and not be able to pass the ball from defence into midfield. Like, we've lost Trent, yeah? Everybody was banging on about, oh, Trent can't defend, Trent, but Trent could get the ball in defence and play it into midfield or play it even into attack. Konate needs dropping like a hot stone from a very great height. If he wants to go Real Madrid, if his head's in Real Madrid, then let his body follow. Because what he's doing at the moment...
But why isn't Joe Gomez getting the game? Is Joe Gomez fit? Why is he not even given the game?
Yeah, come on.
Honestly, it's got to the point where I don't even know. We saw him in the cup against Southampton. Was it against Crystal Palace? Sorry, and he was terrible. But he was playing with like all the kids. He was surrounded by like teenagers. Probably never played with before. And he's like, at this point, Gomez has to play. Or who would I replace him with? Obviously, if Guehi even still wants to come, he has to come. But I honestly believe in the top 10, there's probably one centre back in each of the top 10 teams that could take Konate's place. How he's playing at the moment. I don't know what's gone wrong. Obviously, I've never played at this level, but I don't understand how you could go from where he was last season to... It's like when Torres went Chelsea and just... his brain just switched off. Yeah, that's what it's like at the moment.
It's confidence. From where you're talking, you don't believe, do you? It's not happening this year for you, is it?
This year? Oh, no. I'm not going to lie. I lost faith a little while ago. We definitely can't win it. If we could get a cup, still pick up a cup and get in it, like people saying top 4, I do still think we're the third best team, but Arsenal and Man City. We showed Man City yesterday. This isn't even the great Man City. We actually made them look brilliant. Yeah. Oh, it hurt. I don't believe now. This season, it's not happening.
Right. OK, Lewis, thank you.
Thanks, Lewis.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.